Sound check, 1, 2.
This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
He knows as soon as he gives it to her, he's gonna give her his heart to her too.
And we'll have kids and get married.
That's too far.
Holy shit.
217 Recovery Podcast. It is the 16th of April, 2020. My name is Corey Winfield. Might be joined by Chris Goss. Still kind of waiting on him to reply to a message. So, other than that, I had quite a day in recovery. Oh man, all over the map. Good, bad, the ugly, I guess you could say. It was quite a day though, and I'd really like to share it with you. So thank you for listening. Got up today. It was pretty good. Had to be productive. 217 recovery. We're going to get in the, I guess you could say, transportation business. Our original plan was to take people to meetings, and not a lot of people, especially in the Boyne City, Petoskey area, have rides. People that are in recovery, either they've lost their car, they lost their license, they just don't have a ride. And sometimes we like to hit other meetings. I lived in Boyne City for a year, but we'd like to go to East Jordan, we like to go to Gaylord, and yeah, I know it's Gaylord, or at least that's what some people think. Anyway, we would go to different meetings, and it's fun to just kind of get out and explore. And if you've never done that, you should try it once the COVID-19 ban, travel thing, whatever, is lifted. But here in Michigan, it's not right now, so that makes it a little tough. But the fact that we can't take people to meetings, it didn't put a stop on anything. It just kind of slowed it down a bit. So while we're waiting for that to kind of pick back up, I decided to hook up with MTM. And if you're on Medicaid, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're on Meridian, I know they do it. Depending on what your insurance company is, they will pay for you to go to your doctor's appointments. So we're going to be a part of that. And I kind of finished up. I've been stalling. This is some addict behavior right here. You might think it's funny, but I was talking to this lady, and getting all the paperwork in, and she wanted this certificate, that certificate, and she had mentioned defensive driving. I was like, wait a minute, am I getting reimbursed for this? And she's like, nope. She got to pay for that if you ever had to take defensive driving. Yeah. So I was like, and then she said to me in another email that she has all my certificates. So I just thought, well, I'll let that go then. She said she has all of them, and I knew I didn't do the defensive driving thing, but I just kind of let it play out, and then finally I hit her up and was like, hey, so where are we at in the process? You doing the background check? She's like, oh, just waiting for that defensive driving certificate. So I had to do that today as a 4-hour beatdown, but I did it. And my brother Jerry had sent me a link or an email to a meeting that they were going to be talking about SBA loans, Small Business Association. I think that's what it stands for, something like that. But anyway, we're in the process of becoming 501c3. We've sent it to the government. We're just waiting to hear back. But, we have positions that do pay, like directors and stuff like that. So we're trying to get all that figured out. Now I kind of promised the people like Anna, and we have an office director. We have a community outreach director. Different positions that are kind of doing work, but kind of not right now because they're just trying to see what was going on. But before all this stuff started, we were going to do different things. We're going to do different fundraisers, golf tournament, baseball games. We're going to do a concert kind of thing. And now it just put the brakes on that as well. So my brother knew I was doing that, and he's an accountant, and I have him do our books. And he's like, hey, get on this meeting. So I did, and I sat through this meeting for an hour. After doing this 4-hour defensive driving course, it won't even let you click forward. Anyway, like, okay. So after sitting through that, like in the middle or in the beginning of it, they say, hey, we're going to get to some questions in the middle, and then we got this, we're going to talk about this and this and this. And the stuff they're talking about at the beginning had nothing to do with me or 217 recovery. So I'm just like, la-di-da-di-da, get to the stuff that I want. I want you to talk about the SBA loans. And they finally, the last 5 minutes of this call, guy gets on, he's like, yeah, I'll talk about the SBA loans. Yeah, money's all gone. Oh my God. Like, you couldn't have led with that? You could have just led with that. We had to listen to all this stuff, and I texted my brother and that same exact thing. I was like, they couldn't lead with that? He's like, no, they like to bury the lead. So that's how my day started. And then I had something, and this is something that is very dangerous, especially right now. If people don't want to go out, you get on your phone and you start ordering stuff online. And I ordered, man, that's probably a month ago, coffee, little wooden sticks to stir your coffee with, because you can get them on Amazon, like $3, $4. You can get 1,000 of them. It's a steal. So I ordered those, but it took like a month to come. So that was expected to come actually tomorrow, and then I had a shower head and a rug. And I was like, all right, cool. That stuff's coming tomorrow. And then it changed. Like, God knew I needed some good news today. Like, he was like, man, Corey's been on the computer just fighting with it today, so I'm going to give him his gifts early. So they came, and then I got surprised with another gift. And my girlfriend, Marnie, bought me a desk. And it's pretty cool. And I spent the rest of the evening, like, putting it together. It's glass. It's pretty tight. By tight, I mean it's too big for this little room that it's in. The back room we turned into an office, and it's a little tight, and it might be a little echoey in here too. But I went on Amazon and fixed that. At least next week it will be. So yeah, it was very interesting, that part of my day. And then I get a message on Facebook from one of my friend's girlfriends, and she said, "Hey, can you do me a favor, and can you call him? He's not doing so hot. He went back out." And the guy I'm talking about, he was on the show recently, matter of fact, and he is in early recovery. And there needs to be a word for this, like the beginning stages of early recovery, because I don't know. I haven't met anybody except for like old timers. There's one guy that I can think of that was like, well, once I just stop drinking, I'll stop drinking. Everybody else, it's a process, man. And for me, it was a huge process. And it took a long time, years, trying, failing. And then I stopped trying and just started doing. And I started listening. And as much as I was fighting it, I felt good at the beginning stages of early recovery. You're coming off of just hell, and now you don't feel like that anymore. Your body's just loving it. And then you start going through some things again. But I was telling my buddy's girlfriend that, because she's like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do anymore. And I tell her, no, there's not. Just don't give up on them and don't enable them. Don't pat them on the back and say, hey, that's okay. Just, I don't know. Like, you have to acknowledge it, but don't give them the old, I can't believe he did it again. He can't believe he did it again. If you'd have talked to him a week ago, he would have told you that he's not gonna drink this week or that day, and that's how quickly it can come. And I guess he went and got tested for the COVID, and he actually called me for a ride. And I'm like, bro, if you're going to get tested for COVID, I am definitely not the guy to take you. You might want to call, because they say like fat people, like it goes after fat people. So I'm like, not today. So call an ambulance. But anyway, when he went, I guess that's when he stopped off, and he's been going through some things with his family, and he had 3 months sober, which is cool. You know, that's 3 months. 3 months that he was sober. And he might be drinking right now. I don't know. I would hope he wouldn't be. But now he can start again and go for 4. You know, let's go for 4 months. You know, that's how I started doing it. And then once I hit the 6-month mark, finally, I didn't do that until 2019. Last June is when I had my 6 month. And that was the first time I had ever gotten 6 months. And I started my beginning of early recovery battle. I don't know what you want to call it again. Early 2015. So, I mean, it took me 4 years to get to 6 months. And lots of relapses, lots of treatment centers. And until you can learn how to process those things that you go through in a healthy way, you know, and you learn each time. You know, my friend Jamie, he's learned a lesson this time, you know, and I don't want to say lesson, like you learned your lesson, you know, but he learned about himself a little bit more. And I love the guy. He's a person that I truly call my friend. And I don't judge him, and I hope the best for him. Like you say, you know, he can learn from it, and he's starting to do a little bit better. You know, he's been reaching out to me a little bit more, which I think is good for him. You know, it's just so hard right now with the COVID thing. You know, you can't go to meetings, you can't get that connection with people that are like you. Yeah, Zoom's okay, whatever, but it's not the same. And if you like Zoom, that's cool, man. That's great. You know, keep doing it. But it's not the same as, you know, my buddy Tom at the Charlevoix meetings. You know, I miss the guy. I should drop him an email. Send him a picture of me in my 217 recovery mask. But it's just not the same. And I feel bad for him. Not bad for him, but just that, like, you got one more thing against you, which will only make you stronger in the end. But I think he can do it. And, you know, if he just stops, don't feel sorry for yourself. Pick yourself back up and let's do it again. If you know somebody who needs help or is, you know, beating themselves up because of the shame, the anger we feel, we're so angry at ourselves and we think we're so worthless. Like, I can't believe I did it again. Maybe I won't wake up this time, you know, and those thoughts, they're not good. They're not. And that feeling's not good. And I wish what I could say would make it all go away, but that's not going to happen. You can make it happen, and you're the only one that can make it happen. You know, to try, and people say coping skills, yeah, you know, but I just don't like the way people throw out the word coping skills. Oh, well, learn some coping skills. Well, I don't want to sew, thanks. You know, you don't need to learn coping skills. You need to learn something that you're interested in, something that gives you purpose, something that makes you happy. That's what I think anyway. Again, I'm no psychiatrist, no therapist, just a dude in recovery. But yeah, find something that gives you purpose and meaning and something that you love to do. For me, it's the podcast. You know, I love helping people. So 217 Recovery, like I said, we're going to be doing the rides and the transportation thing. We're going to have fun in recovery. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't feel ashamed that you're in recovery. Not at all. You should feel proud. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy giving up a way of life and changing everything. And you have to. You know, it's not easy, but it's worth it. That's for sure. I'll tell you that right now. I'll also tell you something else right now. I think that my apartment is haunted. It's like for real freaking me out. Like a week ago, I felt like this weird presence. It was a really weird presence, and I don't know why, but it scared me a little bit, like a dark presence. And then, like out of the corner of my eye, I just keep seeing stuff, and I think it's my cat sometimes, and she's just over there asleep. So I'm in my office, and the door's cracked a little bit, so I can see between like the hinges or whatever down the hallway, and it's not my cat. I don't know. Anyway, back to recovery. While I was getting my office put together today too, this is something else